Hey, friends.
I think we're here. Hi. Hi, everybody.
Hi. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Happy St. Patrick's Day. I feel like I look more like Christmas. I have my red shirt on, but I got my beads on. So,
We're very festive today.
yes. But yeah,
Now,
happy
will
St. Patrick's
will
Day.
you drink a green beer today?
I don't know why I wouldn't. So, to make a green beer, just put some green food coloring in there. The other recipe I saw, and I forgot what it was called. I think it's called an Irish float, Irish Bailey's float. So you do a regular root beer float, but instead of root beer, you put Guinness and a shot or at least some Bailey's in there, and you have a nice
Guinness
little Irish
and Bailey's and ice cream.
and ice cream. And there's your
Awesome.
Irish float. So there you
I
go.
love that idea.
And
I
I think
love
that
that.
if you put Irish whiskey with anything, then it's an Irish drink. So
It's
just
festive.
it's festive. So happy
Right.
St. Patrick's Day.
Totally. Thank you guys for hanging out with us today. When you jump in to the comments that say hello, just jump in there and we can add you to the broadcast. We're just
Yeah,
jumping in to say hello. Have you listened to the Friendzy yet this week? If not, make sure that you subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts.
that's right.
And you can follow the Friendzy on Facebook and Instagram to find out what we're up to. This week's episode, Melissa, was all about the TED Talk because
Yes.
we time travel a little bit with our recordings for the episode. So,
The TED Talk. Jen Hobby did a
the TED Talk.
fantastic TED Talk. And so we talk about that. She puts me in the hot seat to kind of walk me through the lessons that she taught in her TED Talk. Also, don't forget to subscribe to The Friendzy. Go to thefriendzy.com. You subscribe because now we're sending a weekly newsletter where we will deliver you those episodes of the podcast. And also, don't forget YouTube. We record these. Have a happy St. Patrick's Day, Mitch. We record these and we have them on our YouTube page. So just search for The Friendzy on YouTube. And also we have linked to Jen's TED Talk there as well. So you can find it on the Friendzy page.
So awesome. Well, we just wanted to jump in and say hello to everyone today. Happy St. Patrick's Day. And we thought that we should talk about the first frost because we're talking about gardening, right? So everybody wants to get going. It's like spring is here. Let's like plant, let's do gardening, let's
Not
do
yet.
all the things. But Melissa seems to be the expert in her family that everybody goes to.
So Katie's mother, Mama Joe, she calls me her weather girl because I always tend to like the weather and talk about the weather and know what's going on. And so she has a big garden at her house, and she's like, "Okay, when can I start planting?" And I said, "Well, hold on, let me check the Farmer's Almanac." And we were talking about this because it's a colder day. It was warm and now it's cold. It was kind of warm today. It's going to get cold again, just to let you know. But anyway, the Farmer's Almanac, yes, Farmer's Almanac said that the last frost is expected April 2nd in this region. So just know that spring's not here just yet. But yeah, here in the nights are going to get cold here this week. That today's a little warm because of the rain. Anyway, I wish I had
Mitch
been a
is
meteorologist.
Yard work Saturday, but don't plant anything till after April 2nd.
Yeah,
says
Mitch,
our expert, Melissa Carter.
My grandmother, I believe Easter was always her time. She would wait till Easter. Hey, Erica. So just gardening. I mean, we're excited that we're kind of getting out of this and spring is almost here, but not quite. So yeah, there's your weather talk.
Well, afternoon. Yeah, you're right. You're right. It's almost afternoon.
Well, no, it's still morning. Hey, Araya. It's almost noon. It's not quite noon yet, so morning is still there.
Yeah.
All right, Mitch. Just give it a few more weeks and then you're good. You can tend to your yard, but don't plant anything just yet because it might freeze.
So for everybody who is jumping in and saying hey and happy St. Patrick's Day, we want you to answer a question from our favorite game, You Don't Know My Life.
That's right.
This is our game that we like to play on the podcast and was our very first sponsor of the podcast. So we want to say thank you. You can grab this game on Amazon. It's awesome for family conversations, for hanging out with your friends. But Melissa, give us a question and we can't wait to see your answers in comments.
Yeah. Please put your answers in the comments. I love this question today. It's what's the quirkiest, shallowest, or most shocking reason you thought, no, I don't want to date this person?
Oh, this is good. Say again.
What is the quirkiest, shallowest, or most shocking reason that you thought, no, I don't want to date this person? And I'll go first since I saw the question. Okay. Because mine is shallow. And no, you can't help this.
Okay.
But thick fingers.
What? I'm sorry, I did not expect you to say that. Oh my
That
gosh.
I have not hands are important, I guess to me. I didn't realize that I actually pay attention to that stuff, but, hands,
How
yeah, and if you have
funny.
you can't help having chunky hands, you can't help it. But for some reason, that has kept me from dating people is because their fingers were too chunky.
Okay, so
That's
what's
shallow, that answers the question. That's a shallow reason, and it's the truth.
is this the right question? What is the shallowest reason why you said,
It
"I
also
can't date this
it
person"?
can be shocking too, but yes, most
Okay.
people because shallow is it is what it is. Like, I don't have a justification for that.
Araya just said, "Ugly?" What?
Oh, well, I mean, Araya. That could be one.
Okay.
They
It
didn't
didn't
clean out their
their
before picking their car. They didn't clean out their car before picking you up on the first
car.
date.
Okay.
Dirty car.
Okay.
That'll do it.
Couldn't date somebody because they were a complete neat freak. See, that would attract me to somebody. I would be like, "That is my man right there. My man is such a neat freak, and I love it." Okay.
No, well,
Let's
Jen,
see.
you haven't answered the question. My mom liked nice hands and wouldn't date a man with bad nails. So yeah, dirty nails. I mean, now if you but still, even if you do stuff like pottery, if you work in construction, if you do things with your hands you can't help, but you can clean them
Yeah.
out. But you can clean them out before you go on a date.
Yeah. I
But
think
but
there's
the
something kinda hot about a man with dirty hands. Yeah. Okay, sorry. Araya could
well,
not date a hunter.
a hunter. Well, now,
Okay.
Jen, I've heard of things that you like about men that if they're a neat freak and have dirty hands, that kind of I don't know if that goes together too well. But what is a shallow reason that you turned somebody down for a date or didn't go on a second date?
Okay, well, somebody I went on a first date with shuffled their feet, and I hated
Mm.
it. I'm like, "Pick up your damn feet and walk."
Oh, when they walked.
When they walk, just
Oh, yeah.
shuffle, 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 shuffle. What? There's nothing. You are an able-bodied man. Why are you shuffling your feet? That annoyed me. Um,
That's a good one.
and I
Um,
would also say this one is so sad. This is more back in high school, but there was a guy that we'd been friends a long time, and I think we were like boyfriend and girlfriend for maybe like a month. It was like, when things are still sweet and innocent, but he had like an issue with his speech. Like he
she
did
did
his
not.
like he
Oh,
couldn't do his S's, like his they were
and
more
it
like,
yeah,
do you know what I mean?
yeah,
S's.
yeah.
They were more like that. I couldn't do it. And he was real cute. I mean, he grew up to be a hottie and he's like, yeah, married 5 kids, the whole thing. Like he's great in life,
Yeah.
but
There's no judgment here. There's no judgment here. You just couldn't take the I get it.
I couldn't. Okay,
And I
April
couldn't
has
take
a
the
bald spot. Oh, really? Look at that. I like her little emoji.
But it's
Okay,
truth. At least
gotta
we're talking
admit.
truth.
Gotta start to admit.
What's the shallowest reason that you didn't go I'm trying to think of another,
Oh my gosh, that is so
yeah,
funny.
the hands. I just yeah, and you can't help it. I know you can't help it.
This is a good
What
question,
else?
Mitch. Mitch, we are not really great schedulers, but yes, we try to go live every Wednesday around this time. Sometimes it's 11, sometimes it's closer to 12. But yes,
Mitch's
Wednesday.
Media Musings. I love that.
Yeah, I love his Media Musings newsletter. I get it. Y'all subscribe to it. So good. Um,
Yeah, so what basically we tape the show on Wednesday mornings.
and
And
then we
so
jump on.
and
So
we
it's
jump
like
on. So it
10.
just depends on how the tapings go. So that's why.
And it also depends on how long Melissa and I try to solve the world problems,
Yeah.
together after the show, because that's what
Yes.
we did today. I was like,
Yes.
"Okay."
It
A
it was
shallowest
serious though.
reason why you said, "I cannot date this person," Erica said
Hair on their backs and chest, yucky. See, and they can't help it, but it just is what it is, right?
chest hair to me is okay. Back. Maybe you could work on the back hair. Yeah. Okay, Boston's jumping in. "Hey, Boston, good to see you."
Hey, Boston.
Yay. All right, Melissa Carter, I've got a question for you. It's not
Yeah.
coming out of the,
Quit.
you don't know my
I gotta
life's
fuss at my cats.
box,
Quit. Yes.
But, can you remember the luckiest you've ever been since it's St.
Oh, St.
Patrick's
Patrick's
Day?
Day. Oh my gosh. I mean,
What's the luckiest thing that has ever happened to you?
oh, well, I mean, I could easily talk about the transplant. I could talk about the IVF lottery and getting my son, but it's something that's a little less heavy. Um,
Like, did you ever get a lottery ticket that did well?
no, but I will. But I earn. I was going to say that. Here's something that I don't know if it was luck. I think it was earned, but I'll answer the question. So Tommy Owens and I. This is probably back in the fifth grade, fourth. Oh, Chad.
Chad.
See,
And
Chad.
Mitch says the same thing.
Yeah, you guys are going to get some St. Patrick's loving is what you're gonna get.
Yes.
So, yeah, Tommy Owens and I, entered a contest at Giant Foods in Columbia, Tennessee, coloring contest, and I was the
Mm.
girl winner and he was the boy winner. The reason I mean, Tommy and I were classmates, but, I mean, we kicked everybody else's ass, and, I won a cassette player, like a boom box. That's not luck, though. Like I said,
That is pretty lucky,
I
though.
earned that with my coloring skills, but that's the only time I've ever won anything. I mean, I usually don't win anything, so that's the problem. One time in my life I made the newspaper too, the Daily Herald, so that was cool. But that's yeah, that's
Claim to fame right there. I
so
made the
don't be
Daily
jealous.
Herald.
Yeah,
Booyah, just so you
exactly.
know, just so
And
you
so
know.
that's why somebody would want to date me is because they're like, "Oh, well, she won that coloring contest back in the 5th grade with Tommy Owens," so
And did you know she's in the Daily Herald?
and she's in the Daily.
She was, yeah.
That's right. So what how would you answer that question? What's the luckiest.
Oh, gosh, I'm trying to think. I feel the same way, like, I think meeting my husband and you, making that happen was pretty lucky,
That's
really
right.
lucky, because he at the time that we met, he was a high school principal, and we worked in radio. There's no way our lives would have crossed. Like, his social life was going to, like, high school games and you know what I mean? Like, his
Yeah.
social life was so different than my social life, and we were, like, all trying to be sceney in Atlanta and do the coolest, like, restaurant openings and all the things, and all you know, like, our paths wouldn't necessarily have crossed, and so it was very lucky to me that he came in studio and that Melissa Carter asked him if he was single, and he
Well,
thought
no,
Melissa
you're breezing over this. Let me tell you what happened. So he was in studio because their school was going to be part of President Obama's inaugural parade, right? And so we were highlighting that and helping them with that. And he was leaving the studio. So at first it was just the band that was coming in who were part of the parade. Then the principal came in the second visit and Grant
Yeah,
was in there. And then Grant left and you were fawning on how good looking he was. That's what happened. And I
was.
noticed that somebody named Jen Hobby wasn't going to do anything about it. And so I left my seat and ran down the hall. And I said, "Excuse me, sir, are you single?" And he was like, "Well, as a matter of fact, I am." And so then I turned around and went back to the studio. I said, "Thanks so much," and left. And so what Jim was about to say is Grant thought I was asking for me, and it was the band,
Yes,
but it was the band director that had to say,
yes.
"No."
Our buddy Zach Cogdill was a listener to the show, and Zach was like, Queen lesbian of Atlanta. She wasn't
Oh,
asking for her.
it's very
She
sweet.
was asking for Jen. And he was like, "Oh, really? Wow, that's so
Yes.
cool." Blah, blah,
And it was
blah.
very kind of them at their wedding to honor me, to give
Yeah.
me kudos for that. But yes,
Okay.
so that's what happened. Yeah, that was you're right. There would have been no
Yeah.
reason. And so I'm glad that I was able to play a little bit of Cupid in that. So I'm glad that y'all got to stay together.
Am I okay? My screen just went out. Okay, hang on. Cammy says Melissa's skill is at matchmaker better than luck. That's true.
Oh,
That
thanks.
is true. Chad remembers that day. How funny. I have had other
Oh,
listeners tell me that they remember that day. Elaine remembers that day. That's so funny. That's so cute. Okay, other people that are lucky. Boston says she won tickets to the Grammys.
oh, wow.
That is really lucky.
And you got snowed in and got to stay 2 extra days with everything included. Nice going. I've never won
Nice.
anything like that.
And TL is my buddy who is so lucky at winning on Star 94. We don't know how. It like her phone just it works. Like she
Nice.
just
Well,
yes.
you just got that energy. I do think there are people that just
luck into
Just
things.
yes, I think their life is just lucky, which is great, and I
Do you think
usually
that's an
anytime I enter
intention that they set, like a mindset that they have, or do you think that's just dumb luck?
I mean, it has to be some kind of intention, whether it's subconscious or not. I do believe that everything works off energy. I because my energy going into a contest, if I try for something, I automatically I'm not going to win this. I never win anything. So I put that energy out there, and thus I get what I ask for, which is I
Mm.
don't win. So maybe I need to change that. Maybe I need to enter something and think I'm going to win this. I'm going to win this because there have
Mm.
been times where, like, whether it's jobs or I don't know, you have this instinct about something. And I know that there's a certain feeling I have when something feels right, like when I get a job that I really had to try for or some other thing that I'm trying to do. There's a different feeling in it
Mhm.
for me. So,
Brooke has a good point. Preparation meets opportunity. I like it.
okay,
I like it. Erica says she is feeling lucky and blessed to have so many great friends and family in her life. I
good
love
for
that.
you.
That is so
Good for
awesome.
you. And you have a choice in that. If you don't have the friends you like or the family that you're connected with, then I am not one who feels like you have to stay in a situation out of obligation if it's not good for you. So if you're
Yeah.
feeling overwhelmed by the people, this is my new feeling as you move forward. If they're not contributing to your success, if your friends are not contributing to your success and your family's not contributing to your success and you don't feel inspired to contribute to their success, then I do think that relationship has to be reevaluated.
Mhm.
'Cause I think it's a waste of time at that point.
To me, it's a feeling too. It's like when you interact with that person, what's the feeling that you get from
Mhm.
the time that you're there and from the time after? Or, is this a person you look forward to being around? You look forward to seeing?
I think Jen's internet is you're getting a little stuck. I don't know if you can still hear me, but my feeling is, um, aw, the love story of Grant and Jen. I don't know if I'm stuck, but if you can still hear me, my thing is, I think it's also about the, emojis, the emoji feeling that you have, right? So if somebody is, um, calling you or texting you, if your initial thought is, "Oh my god, I can't wait to." Are you back?
Am I
Was I
back?
stuck? You're back. I don't know if
No,
I was
I got a notification. It must be my internet.
okay. Well, what I was saying was, like, with the person, if you, like, in the time of emojis, if somebody is texting you or calling you and you go and put it off, then that relationship needs to be reevaluated, right? But if
Mhm.
somebody's texting you or calling you, you're like, "Oh my god, I can't wait to see what they have to say."
Yeah, it's like a little present that just
Yeah,
like
it's like,
pops
"Oh my
in there.
god,
You're
I'm
like,
so happy to
there's
hear
a
from
gift. What
them."
up?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so true. So good. Okay. You want to do another question
Sure.
from the box?
Yes. All right, let me grab one real quick. Again, this is You Don't Know My Life, who was our first sponsor, and a buddy of mine named Dennis Hensley is one of the creators of it. So he lives
And
out in
we,
LA, and I want to support him.
we want you all to answer in comments. So,
Okay. All right, this made me laugh, so I've got to say, how did you learn about the birds and the bees?
oh my gosh. Okay. Are you going to answer it first? I'm going to make
Sure.
the.
The Murray County school bus. So I grew up in Murray County, Tennessee, and we at the time were a small community, and so we only had a few schools, and so the bus rides were a big deal. Like parents didn't take their kids to school; everybody rode the bus, and I was on the bus, and the guy, there was a guy that took an ink pen and on the pleather seats of the bus drew a penis. And I and I didn't know what a penis looked like, and I was like, "Is that what it looks like?" Now, fortunately, I'm part of a community where the guy, I mean, other communities would be like, "Oh, do you really wanna see what one looks like?" But, no, it was just innocent, and this dude and somehow we got in a conversation about what and it was everybody who had older siblings
Yes.
were
What grade?
contributing to the
What grade were you in? Do
gosh,
you
that had
remember on the school bus?
had probably 2nd or 3rd grade, I guess,
Man,
and so we had the conversation, and then when my
Boston, this is hysterical.
from
A kid named Bubby.
thank you, but see, I don't remember this kid's name on the school bus, but yes, you learn about it from friends, and so by the time my parents thought it was appropriate for me to have they didn't have the conversation with me. They gave me medical books, anatomy books. So my parents handed me anatomy books and said, here's the story." I never had a conversation about sex with an adult when I should have.
Ever. Oh my
Ever.
gosh. Erica learned from her parents. She was in 3rd grade. They were doing something. I do remember being a kid and walking in on my parents, but I didn't know till much later what was actually going on.
Oh my gosh, oh, Gretchen, my buddy Gretchen, Porky's. Oh, April, right? That was a good movie though. But Gretchen, one of my neighbors who I would spend the night with, she told me the story about how she walked in on her parents and we were trying to
Uh-huh.
analyze what they were doing. So because we didn't know, and I think this is the 3rd grade, and she said, "All I know is my mom was on top of my dad." And then she said, "And that I don't know what they were doing, but I just know," because we were trying to say, "Okay, is that
Oh
how
my
you
goodness.
do it?
What yeah, what is
What
it?
are they doing?" And so, yeah, she walked in. I walked in on my parents in high school, but the lights were out, and as soon as I realized I got in and out very quickly. I was out to a ball game, and then I came home to grab something, and I was just telling them I'm coming in and out, and they were doing the same thing. So I left.
Hey, Andrew. Andrew had a lesson in high school. So uncomfortable.
Oh,
All right. And Carmen is the same way that I learned a cartoon book. Yes. So I remember hearing about where babies came from and going to ask my mom about it. And she was like, well, we'll sit down and I got a book and we can talk about it. But I remember it was like, all day long, I was like, when are we going to talk about it? When are we going to sit down? When are we going to sit down and have this conversation? I was about 4th grade and we lived in Florida. And every weekend, because nothing ever dies in Florida, every weekend is yard work weekend. So it was like, well,
right.
we'll get to it after yard work. And I asked her the entire time we did yard work, pulling weeds, mowing the grass, doing the, when are we going to talk about it? When are we going to talk about it? And so finally we sat down and it was like this cartoon book with like, everybody's body is different. There's round bodies and tall bodies and skinny bodies and there's droopy boobs and perky boobs and big boobs and little boobs. And like it went through all the different things. And then it was like finally, when a man and a woman love each other very much, that whole thing. But it was a cartoon book.
Well,
So funny.
yeah. So, yes, and we talk about all this in 2nd and 3rd and 4th grades, and then you look at our children and they're approaching that age, and um, it's true.
I
Uh,
know. And then we have to have these conversations
well,
soon.
Katie's already told me I'm having the conversation, so I've already my baby mama has already said you're the one doing it, so I'm having the
And
conversation with
I've
Mr.
been
Carter.
asking my friends, "When does this happen?" And they keep telling me 5th grade. 5th grade, they're ready. But I kinda feel like it should be sooner than that.
Well, I've already had the conversation with my son about his body parts, so I
Yes,
we
we
and
talk about body parts. We
And
say all the
Jen and
correct
I
words.
we say the correct words. We're adamant about you don't call them the new and the na-nas and the no-nos and the whatevers, that
Boo-boos and
it's
ha-has.
exactly what it's supposed to be called, and we talk about it, and when he asks me questions, I answer them. So, he's already asking about his parts and what these things are for and what does this do, and I answer without embarrassment, and I think that's a huge key because I'm like, I'm not gonna shove a bunch of anatomy books at him and expect him to figure out what I'm trying to say. The anatomy books didn't have somebody doing something to somebody else. Like, it didn't
Right.
have
It just
it.
showed the parts. It didn't
Yes.
show the yeah.
What is so I'm supposed to determine, oh, well, the round peg goes in the square hole? Like, so it was, yeah. So anyway.
All right, do you wanna do one more question and then we'll roll?
Sure.
Okay.
Yes. Oh my
One
goodness, so
last
much fun.
question from
So
the
much
You Don't
fun.
Know My Life game. If y'all want to play this at home, you can grab it on Amazon. It's so
Okay.
great.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay, Erica says 2nd and 3rd grade for nieces and nephew, earlier now for some reason. Okay. Yeah, then that means it's gotta be really soon for me because my daughter's in 2nd grade. I believe you answer when they ask. Okay, that's true.
well, it's like your mom
Age
putting it off when you
appropriately.
kept asking,
Like,
like,
"Come on,
that's
I'm
a
gonna learn this
hint.
somewhere else."
Yeah. All right, well, here's
Okay,
a good reason why you gotta talk about the birds and the bees, because here's the other question I pulled.
okay.
Who's the hottest Disney animated character, and what would happen on your dream date?
Oh my gosh, who is the
You don't have to talk about the date, just
hottest
who's the
Disney
hottest Disney animated character? Of course, yeah.
I
I'm trying to
immediately
look up a name, hold on.
immediately thought
Yeah.
of Prince Eric and Ariel.
Okay.
I think he's pretty
Well, hey,
hot.
Grant kinda looks like
See?
him.
I got
Yeah.
a type, I guess.
The first one came to my mind was Jasmine, and we'd go on a magic carpet ride.
Hey.
Sorry, Aladdin. She don't want you.
Oh,
Aladdin.
Elaine says Aladdin, you guys can double date on your magic carpet ride.
That's right.
All
Well,
right.
yeah, we had a friend when we would I would always well, I probably shouldn't say this. We had a friend, Jen and I have a friend who, when we would go to Disney, would usually hook up with some of the characters.
Oh, really? He actually did that?
Yes, there was I think Snow
I mean,
White came
I always knew he, like, fantasized about the
I
Disney
I thi
princesses, but there were actually princesses willing to go all the way.
I think there was either Snow White or somebody came out of his hotel room one morning. Um,
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
but that's where I'll leave it because I yes, I'm sure the cast member would probably get in trouble for still being in costume, but I'm sure that's a part of it. Anyway, the beauty of being an adult at Disney, I suppose.
I will tell you that I have been to some birthday parties, some, like, where the dads will hire the, Disney characters to come to the party, and I have been to a Little Mermaid party with probably the hottest Ariel I have ever seen, and I asked the dad, I'm like, "Wow, okay, where'd you hire Ariel from?" And he's like, "I'm pretty sure she uses this outfit elsewhere for adults and gets paid for it and put dollars put in there." So he literally hired a woman,
An aerial stripper.
an aerial stripper, for his daughter's Little Mermaid birthday party because he knew he would have really great eye candy. And his wife was well aware of it too. She was like, "Oh, yeah, yeah. If you go through the kids' things, they're more expensive." So we just went through the
Wow.
Yeah, she was well aware, not
I
threatened at
yeah,
all.
here I'm gonna be shocked, and then I'm gonna think, "Oh, well, if somebody I know ever" I mean, I Mr. Carter's not a big Disney fan, but maybe he should become one.
Yeah, you could hire Ariel. I
And
could
then
tell you where to hire a hot one.
Katie and I Katie and I
Eye
will have a
candy.
very fun birthday party.
Yes, exactly. Oh my gosh, too funny. All right, here we go. Let's see. We
And
got
thanks
new
for
folks
sticking with it. Again,
jumping in.
frenzy.com. We'd love
Yeah.
for you to subscribe to the newsletter. So the newsletter's brand new, so we're gonna deliver your new
Hey, Andy.
podcast to you every week. Hey, Andy.
Yes, we
Um,
would love for you to go check out thefrenzy.com, follow us, and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. We'll check in with you around this time again next week.
that's right.
Happy St. Patrick's
Happy
Day.
St. Patrick's Day and happy Saint Christmas since tend to look that little festive weirdly. So anyway, y'all have a fantastic week and listen to the show.
Bye.